You wake up on a Tuesday morning, coffee in hand, staring at your bank account notification. It's payday, the day you've been waiting for all month. Your salary has finally hit your account, and for a fleeting moment, you feel that surge of relief, that sense of abundance. But as you scroll through your transaction history, you realize something unsettling. Despite that promotion you earned 6 months ago, despite the significant pay raise that was supposed to change everything, your balance is almost identical to what it was back when you were earning significantly less. You feel the weight of a silent thief that has been raiding your pockets, leaving you with just enough to survive, but never enough to truly thrive. You are trapped in the invisible cage of lifestyle creep, and you are far from alone. Think back to your first real job. You remember the excitement of that first paycheck, living in a modest studio apartment, cooking simple meals, and finding joy in the small things. You were lean, hungry, and focused. But then, the trajectory shifted. You received your first raise, and suddenly that studio apartment felt too cramped. You told yourself you deserved an upgrade, so you moved into a luxury complex with a pool you rarely use and a gym you never visit. You traded your reliable, paid-off sedan for a sleek new model with a monthly payment that rivals a small mortgage. You convinced yourself it was a reward, a necessary step for your professional image. But in reality, you were just feeding the beast. This is the psychological trap of hedonic adaptation. Your brain is wired to quickly normalize your circumstances. When your income rises, your baseline for what you consider normal rises with it. You no longer see your new apartment as a luxury, you see it as the standard. You no longer see your expensive morning lattes or your subscription services as discretionary spending. You see them as essential components of your daily life. The dopamine hit you got from the initial purchase fades within days, leaving you craving the next upgrade just to feel that same level of satisfaction. You're running on a treadmill that keeps accelerating, and the faster you run, the more effort it takes just to stay in the same place. Consider the social pressure that silently orchestrates your spending. You look around at your peers, your colleagues, and the curated lives of strangers on social media, and you feel a gnawing insecurity. You feel the need to signal your success through your possessions. You buy the designer watch, the latest smartphone, and the high-end clothing, not because you need them, but because they serve as a visual shorthand for your status. You're spending money you don't have to impress people you don't even like, all while sacrificing the very thing that could actually grant you true freedom, your capital. This behavior is not just about poor choices, it is a fundamental flaw in how we perceive wealth. We often mistake high consumption for high net worth. We see someone driving a luxury vehicle and assume they are wealthy, ignoring the reality that they might be one missed paycheck away from financial ruin. You are falling for the illusion of success. True wealth is what you don't see. It is the money that isn't spent, the investments that are compounding, and the freedom to walk away from a job you hate. Every dollar you spend on an unnecessary upgrade is a dollar stolen from your future self. Let's look at the math of your missed opportunities. If you had taken that extra $500 a month from your raise and invested it into a low-cost index fund instead of upgrading your car or your wardrobe, you wouldn't just have a few extra dollars today. You would have a growing engine of wealth. Over 10, 20, or 30 years, that money would have compounded into a small fortune. By choosing the now over the later, you are effectively paying a massive tax on your future independence. You are trading your long-term security for a temporary feeling of adequacy. Breaking this cycle requires a radical shift in your mindset. You must stop viewing your income as a reservoir to be emptied and start viewing it as a tool to be deployed. The moment that money hits your account, it should not be seen as spending money, it should be seen as a soldier ready to be sent into the field to work on your behalf. If you wait until the end of the month to see what is left over, you will find nothing. The environment is designed to siphon your wealth away from you through convenience, subscription traps, and the constant lure of consumer goods. The pragmatic solution lies in automation. You must treat your savings and investments like a non-negotiable bill. Before you pay your rent, before you buy your groceries, and before you even consider that upgrade, you must automate a transfer to your brokerage or savings account. By the time you see your balance, the money that is meant for your future is already gone, safely tucked away where your impulses cannot reach it. This is the pay yourself first mantra, stripped of its cliché and turned into a survival mechanism for your financial life. When you automate your investments, you are effectively creating a frugality by default lifestyle. If you only have a certain amount of liquid cash available in your checking account, you are forced to be more intentional with your spending. You start to question whether that new gadget is actually worth the hours of your life you traded to earn that money. You begin to prioritize value over price and utility over appearance. You start to cultivate stealth wealth, the quiet, powerful accumulation of assets that gives you options instead of just clutter. This journey is not about deprivation, it is about intentionality. It is about realizing that your happiness is not tied to the brand of your shoes or the square footage of your living room. When you detach your self-worth from your net consumption, you unlock a level of mental clarity that most people will never experience. You stop competing in a race that has no finish line, and you start building a foundation that is entirely your own. You become the architect of your own future rather than a victim of your own habits. Look at your surroundings right now. How many of the things you own actually bring you deep, lasting joy? How many were purchased in a moment of boredom, status anxiety, or the belief that this one thing would finally make you feel successful? When you strip away the layers of lifestyle creep, you find a version of yourself that is more resilient, more capable, and far wealthier than your bank statement suggests. You are reclaiming your autonomy from a consumerist machine that thrives on your insecurity. As you move forward, challenge yourself to live one level below your means, not because you have to, but because you choose to. When you get your next raise, do not increase your expenses. Instead, increase your savings rate. Take that entire raise and funnel it into your investment portfolio. Your standard of living will remain the same, but your trajectory toward financial independence will accelerate exponentially. You will be building a wall of security that no economic downturn can easily penetrate. Remember that the people who seem to have it all are often the ones who are the most fragile. They are shackled to their high-paying jobs because they have created a lifestyle that requires constant, high-level income. If they lose their job, their entire identity and their entire life collapse. By avoiding lifestyle creep, you are buying yourself the ultimate luxury, the ability to say no. You are buying the freedom to change careers, to take risks, to travel, and to live on your own terms. This is the secret that the wealthy have known for generations. It is not about how much you make, it is about how much you keep. It is the boring, unglamorous work of consistent saving and investing that builds empires. It is the refusal to play the status game that keeps you grounded while others are drifting into debt. You are building a life that is deep and meaningful rather than one that is merely wide and expensive. So, starting today, take control. Audit your recurring expenses. Cancel the subscriptions you don't use. Question the upgrades you have convinced yourself are necessary. Set up your automated transfers and let your money work for you while you sleep. The silent thief of lifestyle creep can only steal from you if you keep the door unlocked. By automating your financial discipline, you are locking that door for good. You are moving from a state of reactive spending to one of proactive wealth creation. It is a quiet revolution, one that doesn't require a flashy car or a designer wardrobe to validate. It is a revolution that happens in the silence of your brokerage account and the peace of your own mind. You are becoming the master of your resources, and in doing so, you are securing your future. This is the path to true wealth, the kind that doesn't scream for attention, but quietly provides the freedom to live exactly how you want to live.